All right, we're standing right here with Paul from BLACKGUARD. How you doing, man?
I'm doing really good. How about you?
I'm fine. So you're on tour with Hypocrisy right now. How's the tour going?
Tour's been pretty cool. Everybody's been really awesome. All the bands are really great. We've already toured with Swashbuckle quite a few times, so we're really tight with those guys, and it's been just a blast sharing the stage with them every night. Hate have been a bunch of really cool dudes, so Scar Symmetry and Hypocrisy. Everyone's getting along really well. The show's been pretty cool. We've just been having an all-around really good time.
So. Cool. So, you have your album Profugis Mortis, which came out last year, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just talk about how it sounds and all that. Describe your musical style.
I like to describe us as epic metal, where we have we mix a lot of different styles. We try to mix. All of us have a love for like power metal and also extreme music, so it's kind of like a mix of of power metal, death metal, black metal, symphonic metal with folk elements kind of splashed into it, and we just try to make it as coherent as possible. So
right.
That's I guess that's sort of the overall view of the music.
That's cool. What would you say like your main inspirations are? And do you do any songwriting with the band or no? I
write the lyrics. I don't write. I don't do much in terms of musical writing. I'm not much of a musician myself.
So what would you say some of your biggest inspirations are personally, and other members, like the songwriting members of the band?
Like other bands per se.
Yeah.
You know what? Our keyboardist Joe, he's a huge power metal fan. Like I said before, is a huge influence on our music, and he was really inspired. One of his favorite power metal bands is Stratovarius.
Oh yeah.
So Stratovarius is a huge influence, and bands like Kalma from Finland also, big influence on us too. And everybody sort of brings in their own mix. It's a little bit of everybody's of styles too that show up in the music. So
that's very cool. So what are your future touring plans? Who are you touring with in the future?
After this tour, we got a 3-month break, so we're going to be doing a lot of writing for the next record, and then after that, in September, we start tour with Camelot and Leaves Eyes, which is going to run up until, I believe, mid-October. And then from there, we get a month break, and then we head back on the road with Mutiny Within, Scar Symmetry again, and Epica, who we toured with just before this tour.
Oh yeah, the Epica. You toured with Epica in the past, didn't you?
Yep. It was a couple months ago. It was February. The Cold Tour.
Yeah. Cool. So, do you have an idea what you want the next album to sound like?
I'd like to. I think how the music's gonna go is. We're not gonna. It's gonna be an evolution. We definitely want to grow as musicians and songwriters, and we have over the past year, and the songs are gonna reflect that. I believe it's gonna take on more of a symphonic feel and a little less of folk elements,
okay.
But still more, or still a lot of orchestration and a lot of like I said, symphonic elements to it. But it's still gonna have that power metal backbone and that extreme, those elements of extreme metal to it too, like black and death. So,
have you made it over to Europe with any of your tours yet, or no?
No, we were supposed to do the Pagan Fest earlier last year, and then that ended up getting kind of screwed up for us. Mainly, it's finances. We have a hard time pulling the money together to head over there. We're 6 people, so it gets expensive to pay for flights and to just to maintain 6 people on the road for a month at a time gets pretty expensive. So we're sort of waiting and biding our time and waiting for the right opportunity and the right tour to come along for us to actually go over there and conquer Europe.
Cool. So we just give a brief history of how Profugis Mortis, as you were previously called, got together and all that, how you got introduced to the band, or are you a founding member? I'm
not technically a founding member, although I do consider when myself and Etienne, our bassist, joined the band, we joined around the same, within a couple of weeks of each other. I kind of consider that like the more or less true start of the band, because from then that's when we actually put out CDs and started doing tours. But the band itself actually started around 2001 with Justin, our drummer, and Terry, our guitarist. And they started it, and after that, there was other members in the band, and they left, and other people started filling the void. I saw them play at a club. I saw them open up for a band called Unexpect and Blinded by Faith I guess it was about 6 years ago at a club in Montreal. And they were jamming right next to where I was jamming with one of my older bands. And I went to go, after I saw their show, I really liked it, and I went to go see them the day after at their jam room. And I just told them how I appreciated the set and I thought the music was great. And they asked me if I knew a singer, and I said, well, I'll give it a shot. So I just walked in and sort of ad-libbed lyrics right there on the spot, and that's basically how I joined the band. Like they liked what I did so much that they wanted to keep me. So, and from there, all the other bands have kind of floated away, and this is the one that's left standing, and I'm really glad I made that choice. So.
Cool. So how has the band's sound evolved over the years to what it is now?
Well, back when it started out, it was more black metal, I'd say, but that's like 2001.
Right.
So we're going back 9 years or so. But even when I joined the band, it was still all the elements that are in the music now were there 6-7 years ago, except the only thing that's really changed is the musicianship and our writing ability. We become better writers. We become better musicians. I'd say the music's become more refined than anything else. So, in the course of 9 years, not a whole lot's changed. We've just, we're just growing as songwriters and musicians.
Cool. So you guys have been on a bit of tours in the past. Which one has been your personal favorite?
You know what? I'm not sure. I think Ensiferum might have been one of my favorites for the crowds. And so, Pagan Fest 2 was really great for the crowds. Like they were really energetic. They were up from moshing and getting really into it. Summer Slaughter was one of my favorite tours for the people because there were so many other bands on that tour. There was between 9 or 10 other bands on that summer festival, and everybody was so awesome, and we got along with every single band member and every single crew member on that tour. That even though the shows weren't that great for us, just the company of the people we were with, made up for that. And the same thing for Epica too. I mean, the shows were great. The shows were huge. And they were one of the nicest bands that have ever taken us on tour with them. I mean, they'd always give us beer and give us booze and let us hang out on the bus some nights, and they were just so open to us. As it was incredible. So that the Epica tour was is right up there too. So
cool. So what do you do when you're not touring? Like, what are some of your hobbies and interests?
I try to feed myself and stay alive by working odd jobs.
Yeah.
Because metal doesn't pay. Crime does, apparently, but metal doesn't. So if you want to work an honest job, and play metal,
awesome.
Yeah, it's tough.
All right, so just thanks for doing the interview. Do you have anything you want to say to any Blackguard fans that are watching the video?
We're getting the new record ready, and when we got something to show you guys, it's going to be amazing, and I know you guys are going to like it. So stay tuned. Hopefully, it's going to come out in the fall or the winter. So.
Thanks, man.
No problem.